Namaste, welcome everyone. My name is Kassandra and I'm going to take you through this well-rounded practice. So in 30 minutes, we are going to do a little bit of everything. Arm balances, inversions, hip openers, balancing poses, twists. We are really going to try to squeeze it all in. This is an intermediate flow, no props needed, and just begin lying down in Shavasana. Take a few cleansing breaths. Relaxing your facial muscles and just connecting to this moment right now. Setting the tone for your practice. And now draw your right knee in towards your belly. Keep your left leg extended as you push into your left heel. And you can start rolling through your right ankle, flexing and pointing your toes, just getting some motion here. Try to keep pressing your shoulders down into the mat, finding length in your low back. And now carry it over into a twist. Right knee crosses over to the left, and you can reach your right arm out to the side, maybe gazing over your right shoulder. Compressing through your belly here with this first twist. Try to stack your hip over the other one. Another big breath in here. And you can lift that knee back up through to center. And now curl head and shoulders off the mat and float the left leg so it's about at eye level. Either reach your arms in front of you or up overhead to make this a little more intense. And now switch the legs, keep your lower back pressing into the floor. Exhale and switch. Inhale to hold and exhale to switch. Inhale, low boat. Exhale to switch. Reach your arms and lower down. Go ahead and stretch into your hamstrings here. Hold on to wherever is accessible to you, behind that back right leg. Any little movements that feel good here, just to open up into our hamstrings. Stretching at the back of the knee, back of the ankle, and you can open your leg off to the right. So a deeper external hip rotation. Try to push down in your left hip and left shoulder so that you're not rolling to one side. Come back through to center, curl up once more. Same thing in this low boat. Choose where you want to have your arms. And as you exhale, you're going to switch to scissor the legs. Inhale, lift, and exhale, switch. Inhale, pull your belly in. Exhale, switch. Breathe in, switch, and pull everything into the center. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Come into your bridge pose. Push down into your heels, lift up, and if you want, you can interlace your fingers, shrugging your shoulders underneath you. Hug through your inner thighs, lengthen your tailbone towards your knees. Lots of space in your low back, relax your neck. And carefully lower down inch by inch. And we'll find this sequence over on the other side. So start with knee to chest, just pulling the left thigh in, right leg straightens out. Press down into your right heel. And maybe take those little ankle rolls, flexing and pointing through your left toes. Take a few deep breaths. And we'll carry this over into a twist on the other side. Stack your left hip over your right one. And you can reach your left arm out to the side as well. So it's as if you're trying to move your left hip in the opposite direction, pulling it away from your left shoulder. And you can choose to keep your gaze up, or you might look over that left shoulder. Use this time to set the tone for this practice. You can make your way back through to center. Pull your knee in towards your belly. Lift head and shoulders off the floor. Float your right leg and right foot up and choose where you want to place your arms. As you exhale, you switch. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, switch the legs, draw the navel in. And switch once more. Push into your lower back. Switch again. And lower all the way down. Stretch into your hamstrings as you extend and straighten your left leg up towards the sky, making any little movements and adjustments here that feel good. You can absolutely bend into your left knee if you need to. And you can open that leg out to the side, an external hip rotation. Try to push down into your right glute and right shoulder so that you're not tilting over and rolling over. Very normal for one side to be tighter than the other. Come back through to center and keep those legs scissored as you lift on up, reaching your arms up overhead, and then exhale to switch. Exhale, switch, inhale, lift, switch the legs, and reach, and switch, reach, and release. Coming down, we'll come back into our bridge pose. You might want to interlace your hands the more unusual way. So the other thumb on top, push down into your heels, squeeze into your glutes as you press your hips up towards the sky. Try not to roll to your outer ankles. Really press down into your big toes. Relax neck and jaw. Feel your breath go all the way down into your belly, and we'll slowly lower down. Pull your knees to your belly, rock a little bit, just to massage your lower back. And we're going to come into a side sphinx. So roll onto one side, doesn't matter which one you begin with. And you can either just come up onto your forearm, or you can push and go deeper by lifting up onto your palm. So you're stacking one leg over the other, big side body stretch here, lateral flexion. One of my favorite poses to do. Try to feel it all the way down into your hip. And now come into your regular Sphinx pose, forearms on the mat, push down into your pelvis, roll your shoulders back, open through your chest and through your heart. Really expand and broaden here. And find your side Sphinx on the other side. So just roll to that opposite hip, either staying down on your forearm or making it a little bit more intense by lifting up onto your hand. Try to keep one hip over the other, one heel over the other. Very normal for one side to feel more intense. Come back through to center. And then 3 little baby cobras as you inhale, chin, chest, palms come up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, squeeze and lift, and lower down. Breathe in, push into the tops of the feet. Full Bhujangasana cobra pose. Press your palms into the floor, roll the shoulders back. And let's press back, wide like a child's pose, Balasana. Big toes together, knees apart, fold on down. And even though your arms are reaching up overhead here, try to press your shoulders away from your ears. Let your hips be heavy. So we've done some essential spinal movements, some side bends, some rotation. We've started to warm up into our hips, warming up into some gentle back bends. So we'll be ready for some more dynamic movements for the rest of our practice together. Take another big breath in here. And we'll lift on up, bring your knees in so they're hip width distance apart, and step your right foot to the top of the mat, Anjaneyasana, into your low lunge. Your right knee should be directly over the top of your ankle. Engage core strength here. Prayer hands as you twist, left elbow over the top of your right knee. Really push your arm into the thigh to lift your chest off of your leg. Look back over that shoulder. Keep your hips melting forward and down. Bring your hands to the mat, tuck the back toes under it, and straighten your front leg any amount. I'm not really folding down here. I'm kind of keeping my chest parallel to the floor. Try to press back into that back heel, a variation of our pyramid pose. Come back into your lunge and maybe add a quad stretch this time. So reaching back for your left foot with your right hand. And you can kind of let your head be heavy. Sometimes that can feel nice to stretch into your neck, or you can lean back a little bit to open through your chest. Just lots of ways of doing this one. Three-legged dog. Lift your right leg all the way up to the sky, bend your knee and open up your hip. Get a big stretch here as you push your right shoulder down. Straighten and square that leg into your downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And we'll take a little flow here, flow through plank pose, lower down, Chaturanga, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. And as you exhale, press back, tabletop stance, second side, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Knee is over your ankle as you lift up. Really try to stretch out of your lower back and maintain the length even as we prepare for a spinal twist. Hands at your heart, place the right elbow over the top of your left knee. And try not to collapse your upper body over your leg. Push against your leg to lift and twist a little more. This is harder than it looks as a pose. One more breath in here. And fingertips to the floor. Find a wider pyramid stance. Just straightening that front leg any amount. Focusing less on the forward fold, a bit more of a flat back here. Pull your lower belly in, back into your low lunge, maybe adding a quad stretch. So reaching back with your left hand as you pull your right heel in towards your glute. Keep your hips as low to the ground as you can. Stay with your breath in and out through your nose. Release, three-legged dog. So this time your left leg will lift up and back, bend your left knee, open up your hip. You do need to squeeze and engage your glutes here to keep that knee up high. Find your downward facing dog and we'll take a vinyasa. Inhaling forward through to your plank pose. Really articulate through your spine. Chaturanga. Into your cobra, back bend here. And exhale, let's go back into our down dog this time, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press back into your heels, push into your palms, relax your neck. And now walk your hands to the top of the mat. Rather than taking a ragdoll fold, bend your knees and grab a hold of your two big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bend your elbows away from one another as you fold. If you need to, you can absolutely have your knees bent here. We're trying to stretch along our spine. Release, come all the way up to stand, Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of the mat. In your mountain pose, we're going to take a half sun salutation. Inhale, arms rise. And dive all the way down as you exhale. Halfway lift, flat back, lengthen, and fold a little deeper. Push into your feet to come all the way back up. Samastitihi, hands at the heart. Let's take our full flow this time. Arms rise. Exhale, fold. Lift up, halfway lift, flat back. Plant your palms and go ahead and step your feet back to plank pose, Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Lots of space here in this down dog. Right leg rises, keep it straight and squared, and carefully place that foot to the top of the mat. We're coming up into our high lunge. Ashta Chandrasana, push down into the feet, palms facing in towards one another. Straighten your front leg, and then as you bend your right knee, you're going to open your arms into a twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, face forward, straighten the right leg. Exhale, open the arms back into your lunge. A few more like this. Inhale, forward and straight. Exhale, bend and twist. A little deeper each time. Inhale, forward. And exhale. Maybe add on with your reverse. Right hand down your thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. A back bend and a twist. We'll prepare for our eagle pose. Wrap your left arm under your right, binding once or twice. When you're ready, cross your left thigh over your right, maybe looping the toes back, Garudasana. Both knees should be bent here. Roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. Pull your lower belly in. Take another breath. Stay balanced as much as you can, and let's release. Arms rise. Fold forward, take your flow, halfway lift. You can step or hop. I prefer to always step. Down to Chaturanga, into your upward dog. We meet back, downward dog, ready to do the sequence on the second side. So this time you'll stretch your left leg up to the sky, straight and squared. Into your high lunge, left foot steps forward. Arms reach up, stacking your shoulders over your hips. And that same variation again here. So first, you're going to straighten your left leg and really try to balance on both legs. As you exhale, right arm forward, left arm back, bend into your front knee. Inhale, stretch and lift. Exhale, twist and bend. Pull your left shoulder back a little more. Inhale, lift. Exhale to open. Inhale, lift back through center. Exhale to open and reverse. Left hand down, right arm up. A side bend and a back bend all in one. And we'll be making our way into our eagle pose. Right arm wraps under the left one, binding once or twice. And when you feel stable, go ahead and wrap your legs, right thigh over the left. Try to sink down as low as possible here. Keeping your knees and your hips facing forward, release and take your vinyasa, folding down, halfway lift, and step back, lower the push-up, upward facing dog, and we all meet back, downward dog, pressing your chest towards your thighs. Let's go ahead and reach our right leg up towards the sky. You can bend your knee and open your hip if you'd like here. And let's step our right foot to the middle of the mat, not all the way to the top. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Push into your feet, and then dip your hips down as you reach your hand to the back of the mat. Inhale, push into the feet, lift up. Exhale, dip down. A few more like this. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, squeeze and lift. And now find Vashisthasana, side plank in a tree pose variation. So bring your foot to the inside of your thigh. You can either look down or forward or up, wherever helps you balance, stacking one arm over the other, and maybe transition into your wild thing, stepping that foot back behind you, reaching your arm up and back, big back bend here. And we'll find pigeon pose, transition as you bring your right knee behind your right wrist, stretch that back leg behind you, level out through your pelvis, and then fold on down. And we're going to hang out here for about 5 to 10 breaths. So give yourself the opportunity to relax your upper body. And your arms and shoulders might need to work a little bit here, but try not to push against the floor. We're making this a little bit more passive in nature. And we're using this time to find a breath rhythm that is soft and steady, in and out through the nose. And when you're ready, you can lift on up. And now lean on your right leg so you can bring your legs out in front of you into your bear pose. Grab a hold of your big toes and see if you can straighten your right leg. Keep your spine nice and straight. Bend your right knee, switch sides. This time left leg straightens. You're balancing on your sit bones. And now maybe see if you can open up both legs for that full variation and expression of this bear pose. A bit of a balancing act, and you do need quite a bit of hamstring flexibility here. And go ahead and release. We're going to come into our headstand. So interlace your fingers, elbows a little wider than the crown of your head. If this is not appropriate for you, you're welcome to stay in that bear pose. We are not going to be here for too long. Lifting up. About 10 breaths or so here. If you're in this headstand, you really want to be pushing with your forearms, pushing into your elbows, into your knuckles, drawing your lower belly in. So there's really not a lot of weight on my head. Take your time to ease on out, and we're going to find just Balasana, child's pose. Reach your arms back behind you. Let yourself settle here. And come on up back into downward dog. If you'd like, you can take a vinyasa by flowing into your plank pose, lowering down, back bend, and we all meet back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, ready to repeat the sequence on the other side. Left leg up, you can bend your knee and open up through your hip. And we'll step that left foot to the center of the mat so you don't bring it all the way forward. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot, lean on your right hand, and extend your left arm up and over. You need to actively push the feet into the floor. As you exhale, dip your hips down, look back. Inhale, push and lift up. Exhale, dip down, reach it back. Inhale, push and lift. Exhale, dip it down. Inhale, push back and lift up. Dip down through the hips, big stretch here. And the next time you lift up, find Vashisthasana, Vrikshasana, so tree pose in your side plank. Bringing that left foot somewhere along the inside of your right thigh, stacking one shoulder over the other. And there's already a lot going on here, so maybe this is appropriate for you, or you can move into your wild thing. Left foot steps back behind you, arms reach up and back. Coming into our pigeon pose, you're going to bring your left knee behind your left wrist, squaring off your hips and pelvis, looking up, and find length here. So you're always trying to stretch out of your lower back. Slowing down your breath. Relax any part of your body that does not need to work right now. Breathing into your left hip and left glute, inviting it to soften and relax a little more. And let's come on up. We're going to come into bear pose again, but doing it a little bit differently. So with your legs out in front of you, hold onto your big toes with your two peace fingers. But this time we're going to stretch the right leg directly out in front of us. So rather than opening to the side, we're going directly forward. You might feel this a little bit more in the back of your legs. And switch sides. Left leg straightens out in front of you. Try to stay lifted and tall through your spine, and then maybe both legs extend out. Roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. This is a tough one. Bend your knees as much as you need to, especially if the hamstrings are feeling tight. And let's release into this pose. We'll come into elephant trunk, our arm balance. So try to bring your right arm underneath your right leg as much as you can. Push into your hands and pick everything up and off the floor. Really reach through your toes, squeeze it in, and lower. Extend your legs out in front of you, reach your arms up, and find a forward fold right here in the pose. Let's come up, elephant trunk on the second side. So you kind of need to wiggle and slide your left arm as much underneath your knee and thigh as you can. Push your palms into the floor beside your hips and pick it all up. Lots of core strength needed here. You got this. And lowering back down, reach your legs out in front of you. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. And come on up. We're going to set up for Bhuja Pidasana, your arm pressure pose. So I like to lift up and walk my hands behind my heels. Get the shoulders right underneath your knees. And then sit back down, crossing one ankle over the other. See if you can pick it up. You kind of need to be a little pretzel for this one. See if you can cross the other ankle on top. Stay lifted. Reach through your legs. Push into the floor, and carefully, as much as possible, release. And go ahead and shake out and roll out your wrists. Should feel really good here. Back into our downward dog. Lift your hips up and back and find your flow. Let's press back, Balasana, child's pose. Let yourself soften and melt here. And you can lift on up and just flip over onto your back. We're starting to slow down our practice, but we have one more strength pose coming into wheel. Place your hands beside your ears. You can always do bridge pose if this one is not appropriate for you. And then push up. If there's any pain in your lower back here, you've gone too far into it. Strong through your legs, and let's lower down. Open your arms out to the sides, cross your right thigh over your left, and find a lying spinal twist, looking over your right shoulder. Letting go of the need to use strength or effort. We are closing this practice. And simply bring your breath to a neutral, steady pace. Feeling the effects of everything you've done in the last half hour. And you can lift your legs back through to center, uncross to cross the other way, left thigh over the right, and drop both knees over to the right. Try to press a little bit more into your left shoulder, maybe looking over that left shoulder. Holding here. Coming back through to center. Before we go to Shavasana, let's take a moment or two in reclined butterfly pose. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch, knees open. And you might want to just rest your palms on your lower belly. And as you place your hands there, see if you can guide your breath into this area. Whenever you're ready, let's find Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take up space with your arms and with your legs, palms facing up towards the sky. Really learn to let go here, to enjoy moments of rest, especially after all of the effort you've put in. Melt into the floor. Soften fully. And let's start to wake up, moving a little through fingers and toes, stretching your arms up overhead. Lots of length and space here. And roll to one side so you can come up to take a seat, joining your hands at your heart. Take a cleansing breath in through your nose and exhale out your mouth, letting it go. Bowing forward, thank you so very much for doing this everything in 30 practice with me, where I tried to get through all kinds of poses in just 30 minutes. I would love to know how this went. Please leave me a comment down below, and hopefully I will practice again with you very soon.